Hello, good morning, welcome to Bars and Bells. Grab a chair, sit on the floor. My name is Ian, this is Lauren, and today in our Restore and Recharge practice, we'll talk to little things like our ankles, bigger things like our hips, and the best things like our get-ups. Yes, the get-ups. But first, like usual, I like to start with our breath. On the way in today, Lauren and I were discussing how current times might make mask wearing appropriate for a while. But maybe what we can do too is learn to breathe, which includes through the nose, on ins and outs. So let's start for our breath, for our control, and for our health everywhere. Hands on belly, sit tall, take a sniff in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Repeat. Breath in through the nose. Exhale. Repeat for 4-second inhales, starting now. 4, 3, 2. Exhale for 4, 3, 2. Repeat inhales for 4 seconds. And exhale for 4 seconds. Repeat with holds. Breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold. Exhale. 4 seconds. Hold. Brace. Breathe in through the nose for 4 seconds. Hold. Exhale. Going through today's practice, and I know on our bike ride this weekend, Lauren will say, are you breathing through your nose? Yes. And if the answer is no, yes, now I am. Come back to that head neck, breathways, head neck, here we go. We can move our head and neck in 8 directions, and that's the same with most other body parts. If we start by looking slightly down, chin tuck would be direction 1. Direction 2 would be casually looking up at the ceiling and then return to center. Direction 3 could be a lateral flexion at the neck. And then 4 would be the alternate to the other side. Now for directions 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, look to rotate on a corner. I'm going to rotate and nod a corner. So I'm looking at more 10 o'clock on a clock face, return to tall and center. Add our rotation, little bit of a chin nod. How do you do?
How do you do?
To look straight and return center. Now out the back, you're going to gently lean to that back corner and pull on center and gently lean to the back corner and put on center. For one full repetition, let's make a nice small circle shape connecting all of those dots. Start with your chin tuck, flexion at the neck. From here, lightly scrape that collarbone looking at the armpit. Incorporate that lateral bend to have an ear approach a shoulder and slowly roll out the back, keeping tension on the front to help support. To my new back corner, I'll laterally bend to have my ear approach my shoulder, continue to look to the armpit, and then scrape across the collarbone to center. Get tall, reset. Make sure that feels okay, and repeat the other direction. Initiate your chin tuck, flexion at the neck. Scrape across the scapula to look at an armpit. Laterally bend at the neck. Slow rotation around. Taking time to have the other ear approach the shoulder. Look in that, sniff in the armpit action. Scrape back to center and straight ahead. Come back to the top. Let's work on those tips down below. Sitting on the edge of your chair, may we hold around the kneecap. Hold the knee, support the hip, make sure our hip flexor in the front isn't angry, nor the low back. Sitting tall. Sitting tall. There we go. From tall. Pull or dorsiflex the ankle to the shin, and then point. Repeat, dorsiflexion, and point. From your point, turn in, turn out, turn in, turn out. Then return to your dorsiflexion, and as again, repeat turning in, waving in or waving out. Is your knee moving? Use those hands to keep the knee joint in the same place and to move the ankle. Replace to the floor and switch. Sitting tall, holding on, dorsiflex the ankle, foot to shin. Point. Repeat twice, dorsiflex, point. At the point, turn in or sickle the ankle, then wing out or turn it to the outside. Repeat one more time, turning in and then out. Pull to your dorsiflex shape, and same thing, turn in and turn out. In and out. Return to the floor. Grab the original leg, and now a circle shape each way, starting with our foot in the ankle dorsiflex shape. Roll to the center. You might need to create some clearance there on the other leg. Roll into center as you slowly drop that foot with tension and control to the plantar flex shape. From here, we'll turn to the outside, keeping the knee in a stable position, pulling the foot around to the start position. Repeat, but lateral this time, moving to the outside first, and then dropping that foot, pressing down with tension and control. Half a circle done, half a circle more as we turn up the foot, returning to the dorsiflex shape, and return the leg to the ground. Alternate to the other side. Sit tall, start with your dorsiflex shape, and turn the ankle in. Grab and touch the circles of that, edges of that circle as we point the foot, turn it to the outside, and bring it back up to that dorsiflex position. With the top of the foot pulled to the shin, we'll take the leg and spin it, the foot rather, and spin it to the outside. And nice and slow again, go towards that dropped foot ankle. Turn it in, bring it up, and let it relax. Let's stay with the low body for a second and extend the leg from the hip. Sitting tall, externally rotate in that hip, turning the inseam up. Internally rotate in the hip, pulling the kneecap into center. Repeat our external rotation, internal rotation, and make sure the foot isn't doing too much work as it goes out from the hip with a stiff leg, and then our turned in hip. Bend the knee, alternate to the other side. Extend on the leg, an external rotation in the hip, our inseam goes up. An internal rotation on the hip, it hides. External rotation, inseam up, internal rotation, and again, just check that foot position, making sure we're not overworking or sickling on the ankle, and we're talking to that ball and socket in the hip. Return to center and down. Lastly, from seated, we'll take our rib cage through those same 8 positions as we did our head and neck. If we place our hands across our chest, we'll start with a flexion position, bringing the rib cage towards the hips. Lightly extend the spine, pushing the sternum or heart now towards the ceiling. As you can see from Lauren's low back, we're staying nice and tall and avoiding flaring of the ribs or dumping of the spine. Resume tall, flex lateral, and center. Same thing, flex lateral. Can you see or feel how your head wants to stay center? Kind of crazy. Then from here, just lean to that front left corner, and then lean up and over as we go to that front right corner, and then up and over towards the back, and up and over to the other corner of the back. Relax the hands, shake it out, and again, like the head and neck, I'd like to connect those dots. This is one of Lauren's favorite drills. We did it last night in class and inspired me to share it with you today. Ooh, not that one, but I do like that too. I do like that too. With our hands over the chest here, looking straight ahead, lightly tuck the chin and keep the head placement the same throughout. Flex through the rib cage, pulling the hips down, and rotate to a side. I chose to rotate to my left. I'll lean or dip to the back now. We'll reach around, staying tall. I think of making the scalloped D here. And then we'll bend to that new corner out the back, pulling or flexing around to center. Gently get tall. Repeat, a light chin tuck. Flexion through the spine, pulling the rib cage down. Add our rotation. I'm looking at 2 o'clock or to the right. And I'll dip down out the back. And I'll gently lift up and over to get around the back. My left shoulder faces that new corner. And I'll pull the rib cage down, returning to center and extension. Is that lovely? I think so. That's lovely. Get those rib cages to move. And again, by sitting or seated, it locks in the hips and we're a little bit less likely to do the hulas, which is also a good exercise, but move the rib cage for there. Let's get up. Let's stand up here. And whether we use our chair or the floor in a second, so keep it handy, we'll get into some all fours. But first, let's just talk to the shoulders lightly. Take the hands down low, extend at the wrists, and think pressing into the floor. With the wrists in extension, shooting laser beams to the floor, that's a pretty rich feeling across my arms. Let them relax. Wiggle them out. If that's all right, lift them out towards the side. They don't have to be high, and again, 90 degrees here would be as high as I'd recommend for now. With the wrists in extension, meaning Lauren's giving you a high five through the camera here, try to reach for those side walls for 5 more seconds, pulling the backs of the hands to the elbow. And then relax to low. Repeat out front, same thing. Out to the front. Now, we're going to get into push-ups. Are you in an all fours or a push-ups position? If you were doing a push-up, let's bend those elbows and just check that placement. Lauren, do a quarter turn. It looks great. Anywhere between Lauren and me would be appropriate positions for the elbows. Anywhere higher, we get into those shrugs, and we want to stay out of those ranges. Pull those elbows in, 45, 15 some odd degrees at the side, keep them down low. Relax those arms. Now with either your box or on the floor, let's get into a hip circle from all fours. Great, Lauren's on the floor. While on the floor or on this box of your choice, set up with wide open hands, straight elbows, packed shoulders, and a strong core. Lift a single knee or foot off of the floor and pull forward into hip flexion, making sure your low back stays long. If that's okay, let's bend the knee a little bit deeper, hold it there for 2 more seconds, and then gently extend at the knee and return to the floor. Alternate to the other side. Lift a little bit. So right there, I lifted with my hamstring or my knee and bent it. Then I'm going to pull my knee forward from my hip and hold on to that position for an extra 4 seconds or so, keeping my tailbone long and then gently relaxing to the ground. Same thing to the lateral direction. Bend the knee off the floor, keeping a bowl of water on your back, so level hips all the way across. Reach a leg out to the side, avoiding the upper body rotation. Maybe internally rotate on the hip for a little bit of something special. Slowly pull to center, return that leg underneath, alternate to the other side. Maintain our core stability and tension as we lift from the hip out to the side. And I'm lifting my right leg lateral, and energy in my left butt cheek is going the exact opposite direction. And pull in and down. Last phase is our hip extension. We'll bend the knee, safely cramping a deep bend in the knee. Extend the hip, recruiting through the butt cheek, aiming to get the quad or the femur parallel with the rest of the body without flaring the ribs or showing too much of that low back arch. Pull the knee forward, underneath the hip, straighten out to standing or knees down like Lauren, and last time, other side. Bend the knee, maintain your long body, reach to center as we extend through the hip. Keep that knee in tight to the midline. Maintain your core, hold for 3 more seconds, and then slowly pull in, leg down. Either stand up or kneel up. That can be a lot on those wrists. Take a quick moment and move those around. Let's stand up. Let's just do one quick repetition series of our movement clock, and we'll come back to that drill. And again, a together fashion here. Movement clock, hands on hips is optional. As we take our steps forward, think toe ball heel on the landing and heel toe ball on the push return. Toe ball heel to front, push, center. Same thing, other leg. Toe ball heel, we have a straight back leg, and push to center. Towards those front diagonals, might have to sneeze, I'm sorry, toe ball heel as we land, and then push to center. Alternate, toe ball heel, push to center. Working now 3 o'clocks, 9 o'clocks or laterals, toe ball heel, push to center, toe ball heel, hips forward, pushing. New corner, pivot on that standing leg. Open up and try to face that new corner and push. Hydration is important, check it out. New corner, so I'm rotating on that standing leg. Finding my new corner, toe ball heel, push, and then straight behind, a small stride, toe, ball, and heels, and try to get those quads lined up, upper body tall. Lauren's advancing it, I like it too. I like that too, and push through. Alternate leg, toe, ball, heel, bend the back knee, stay tall, push through to tall. Get back to the floor if you choose. I'm gonna grab that box to modify. One more time, putting all those shapes together, making that circle shape at the hip. Set up wide open hands, elbows straight, shoulders stacked over top. Whew, take a breath. I'll be lifting my left leg as I pull it into center with a knee bend. Maintain your long spine and flex the hip, meaning pull the knee towards forward. When it's at its safe maximum, reach that knee out towards lateral. We have a bowl of water on our hips as to not tip. And then we're rotating in that hip, turning the sole of the foot skyward, keeping strong abs, engaged core, extending that hip, and then pulling underneath. Reestablish your grips, make sure we feel safe. And from here, we're going to extend the hip, keeping the ribs to hips to not feel this in our back. With a hip extended and knee bent, open up in that hip socket, bringing the knee towards the side. You have that bowl of water still on there. Have you dropped any? Ooh, nice and slow as you bring the knee towards the elbow now. Try to get that hip flexion with our nice long spine. Bring the quads parallel. Relax. Take some time off those hands for a second. We'll do that one more time to the other side. Make those space requirements, those rest requirements satisfied. Here we go. So we set up the hinge again. We have wide open hands on the ground or the box. I would narrow my base as I lift a single leg, bending at the knee. Keeping my tailbone long, my neck neutral, I'll flex or pull my knee forward, maintaining my long spine. Once it's at its safe maximum, I'll reach it out towards the knee, elbow, and then out to the side, keeping that bowl of water on our body, reaching around. Internally rotate on the hip, turning the foot skyward. Maintain the rib to hip combinations. Extend through the hip and the butt, and pull or flex the knee forward. Alternate to the back in the last repetition here as we extend, ribs to hips, ask the butt cheek to say hello, open from the hip, looking to smooth out, maintain tension and control as you pull the knee to the elbow, back into center, extend the hip, straighten the knee. Whew. Relax a little bit. Stand on up. Take your time, come on back up. From here, I like to work one more time through that movement clock series. Same thing, but this time, left, 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 left through all those places, and then we'll switch to the right leg. I'm going to balance on my right as toe ball heel lands in the front, push to center. Diagonal, toe ball heel, super stiff leg on that plant, in. Toe ball heel, push to center. To the back corner, pivot, rotate on that hip, toe ball heel, push to center, and then behind, toe ball heel, quads parallel, upper body tall, push off the back and under. Alternate sides, toe ball heel, keeping that back leg straight, and push. Lateral direction on that diagonal, push center. Straight up laterals, keeping those hips flashlights forward. New corner, push. And then again, toe ball heel, stay tall. Oof. Don't look in the mirror and try to focus on too many things because that's hard. Movement clocks, great. We're gonna come back to those movement clocks in just a moment. Let's get those shoulders and hips going still. Let's get to a lunge first. I know Lauren's gonna prefer something soft. So let's get something soft for under those knees. We're just gonna quickly work our presses and then some hips. From a tall position, extended through the hips, tall on those knees, take a hand to the rack position. From here, low intensity as we press up, shrug a shoulder, pull it down, and pull the arm to low. Release tension, repeat one more time. Low tension as the arm goes overhead, pull, and pack. So someone used the whippersnapper, you can hear that, and hopefully they didn't shrug their shoulder when they were doing it. I don't know, just trying to connect some dots here. Let's switch and do the same thing on the other side. From our racks position, low tension as we press to overhead. The arm could be overhead here, and that's fine. And from here, we would shrug or pull, and then bending an elbow, returning to our rack position. Repeat one more repetition as you go towards your safe overhead. Shrug Pull from that armpit and return to the rack position. From here, let's get into a lunge stance. One leg forward. Lauren chose her right. I like it.
My left.
Oops. Left leg forward. With our left leg forward, squeeze your back leg butt cheek. That might bring up this stretch as we squeeze back there. With the hip extended in the back, meaning a butt squeeze, can you encourage that front knee to go over the toe? Squeeze your back butt cheek, push forward to go back and resume your tall posture. Repeat, butt squeeze in the back, lean forward, extending the hips through, press through the front foot, squeeze the back butt cheek, and meet with strength in the middle. Repeat one more time with a butt cheek squeeze in the back. Gently allow that knee to go towards over the toe. Re-squeeze the butt cheek in the back and push through the front to meet in the middle with all of your strength. Take the front leg, slide it underneath, alternate to the other side, same drill. Check those hips for level and hip extension forward. Squeeze your back butt cheek and again press the knee towards over the toe. Re-squeeze the back butt cheek, push the front leg forward and meet in the middle. Whew. Squeeze your back butt cheek, gently allow a slide glide forward. Re-squeeze that back butt cheek, push forward and meet in the middle. Is your butt cheek squeezed? Is your butt cheek squeezed? Relax. One more time, squeeze that back butt cheek. Maybe we need to find a new word for that combination, but the back, the buttocks, squeeze it again, drive forward, and get tall. Whew, from here, let's stand up. Take some time off of those body parts. Let's do a quick shoulder stretch and then reconvene on that overhead press. We'll start with our hands in a W shape. Stay standing, stay standing. You're good, you're good. More just them. Stay standing with your arms in a W shape. Elevate the shoulders as a shrug and pull them down. With those shoulders pulled down, can we take the hands and try to find the base of the skull, that place right in the back. You know what I'm talking about, Lauren? Right there. Ooh, nice haircut. Okay, pull those elbows low and just relax. Now turn your palms back. Shrug once. Pull low. Bend on the elbows to hover at the back belt loop. Hold for time. Make sure the shoulders can stay back. Lauren must have heard me say that because I did the same cue as she fixed hers. And hold for 2 more seconds. Straighten the elbows, palms forward, and relax. Repeat. W. Shrug once, pull down. Keep pulling down as we go to this hands at the back of the head position. Now for 1 repetition, can we straighten out those elbows? And let's go to the YMCA. Then let's bend the elbows. Pull the elbows to the body. Straighten out the arms. Turn the hands backwards. And bend to touch those backs of the belt loops. We're keeping ribs down. Could you do a side profile, Lauren? We're keeping the ribs down, the butt squeezed, the shoulders slightly back, holding for 3 more seconds. Gently straighten out the elbows, turn those palms forward, and relax. Partial reps and then full reps. We'll continue that in just a moment. For now, let's get back to that tall lunging position, get out the mat or the cushion or the carpet, and this time we'll do the same drill to the side. Tall. Extend the one hip, and as an additional challenge, I need to widen my base a little bit, and as the additional challenge, could you take the one leg underneath, bring it out front, without moving it out to the side. Make room in those hips to get a little more proficient at that. Now take that front leg, move it out lateral. From here, we're going to keep those hips forward. Extend the standing leg hip, meaning this right leg of mine, and we pull the heel and the knee together to let that knee go over the toe. Now squeeze this butt cheek, push that way through the left leg, and again, meet in the middle with all of your strength. Pull the heel and the knee together, allowing the knee to go over the toe. Cramp up this hip, squeeze it, and push that way to get tall, 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 tall. One more time, we'll pull those heels together. Encourage the full foot to stay flat, the knee to go over the toe. Squeeze this butt cheek and push and hold and hold and hold. And then take your time. Return to front or center. Slide under. Nice job. Other side, to the front. In the front position again, check the hip for hikes. This is mine that's normally going to be hiked. I have to work a lot harder to keep it low. What's your story? Check in with it. From here, we'll wiggle out to the side just like Lauren. Let's be tall and extended on the back leg hip and pull the knee and the ankle to the knee here, encouraging to go over. Extend the hip with a squeeze, push that way to get tall. Pull the heel and the knee together, encouraging the knee to go over the toe. Hips are forward, cramp up this glute, push towards Lauren to go away from Lauren. And one more time, pull in, create tension with those hips forward, cramp up the standing leg or the back leg, push to center, return, up anyhow you want, including a lunge, and relax. Let's come back one movement that puts all those shoulder series together. From standing, start with your hands in the W. And from the W, bring them up top to the base of the skull. Hover those hands as to avoid touching the head. Pull those shoulders or armpits down, and then extend through the elbows to the YMCA. Pull down. Keep the shoulders still. From the humerus or that rotating bone in the shoulder, turn the thumb towards down. Let the hands come a little bit lower to this flying V shape. And somewhere around there, bend on the elbows to try to touch the belt loops in the back. Keep the shoulders down, ribs tight, hold. Now extend those elbows to get back to that flying V. From the shoulders, we'll turn the palms up. With straight elbows, we'll return those arms through a T shape to a YMCA shape, and then to the back of the head, pull those elbows down. Straighten those elbows. We're not done yet. You're in your flying V. From the shoulders, turn the backs of the hands forward. Bend on those elbows and aim to touch the belt loops. Squeeze your bum, brace your core, and hold. Extend on the elbows. Last time in the flying V today. With straight elbows, we'll turn the palms up from the shoulders. Pull those armpits low. Stiffen or straighten those elbows as allowed there, Lauren. Not quite yet, sorry. YMCA. Hands towards back of head. Hover, ribs to hips, pull elbows to ribs to the W, and then shake it out to relax. Arms are heavy. I like weights, we have them over here too, but arms are heavy, work on that nice shoulder control. We hope that that feels politely stressful and definitely strong. We like to work on a couple hinges, a couple push-ups, and get-ups in more of a conditioning style. We look to be more non-stop as we contribute and for the rest of today's practice. Follow along, take rest as you need. Let's try to keep working for about 8 minutes. We'll start with our hinges. With your feet just outside of your hips, in your preferred hinge stance, take the hands, chop the hips, push your bum back. Stand tall, extending through the glutes, cramping, bracing. Let's do that for 3 more. Chop or hinge on the hips with our long spine. Push your feet into the floor for tension. Continue to push your feet down and into the floor as we extend through the hips. Repeat with our chop. Push your feet in the floor, and if you look at them, maybe that pulls up your arches and feels those hip holsters get alive. Now push into the floor to stand up, and we'll repeat for 1 more time. Push down and away to hinge on those hips. Push down and away to also stand up. Last time on the hinge, but just the down portion. Set up your hinge to confirm that our shins are vertical and our shoulders are packed. Now here we'll have to tip forward just a little bit or squat down by any other version. Establish your high plank or push-ups position. And for repetitions of maximums 5 or 10 seconds down, push-ups. End up on the floor. Lauren's doing reps, and I'm going to take 10, 9, 8, 7, with my bum squeeze, my good form. I might feel my knees need to come down to help. And we're on our back. Return to your back. On our back now. Okay, take a hand, point to the ceiling. Keep it there as long as we can, and let's perform our get up, up. Our hip extension to roll, our pull to the floor. Then our tall sit. From our tall sit, we push and bridge, sweep, extend the hip to a tall lunge position, stand up tall, and pull the arm down. What arm did you just use? That was my right. Think of that as the next time and try to alternate with your left. For 4 repetitions, let's continue our hinge. This time, start with your hands out front. Pull your armpits down and stiffen those elbows as we pull to have the hands meet the quads. Now hinge. Hands can still touch shins here. Push your bum back, push your feet out, cramp up glutes, stand up tall. Then return those hands to front. Brace your core, tighten up, ramrod straight as we pull those elbows down to the hips. We'll initiate our hip hinge. This time, could you keep the hands as tight to the groin as you could? Now, stand up tall with the hands still tight to the body. Squeeze your bum, brace your core, and then create some separation at those hands. Stay tall, press those hands down. Let those hands carry through on this hinge as we reach to the back, pressing into the floor. Cramp those glutes, brace the abs to the top, and here. Last time, arms down, hinge on the hips, reaching those hands back, tight to the groin, long spine. Now move your hands forward and lightly tip towards that position. Lengthen out. Let's do the same thing as before. So Lauren's team is looking for reps, and my team is looking for 10 seconds down starting now. 10. Make it harder by pulling the floor together. Slow down by squeezing your bum and bracing. And knees when you need. Nice and control. Roll to your back. It's my left arm that's going to be at the ceiling. So make a fist or a point with the hands. Push or extend through the hip to initiate your roll to elbow. From elbow to our tall sit. Is your hand still pointing at the ceiling? Extend through the hip. Sweep through the leg. To tall. To square. To up. And down. Repeat 1 more time. Set up your hinge. A little bit more ballistic here. Now, if we take those hands and we chop our hips, can we rush our bum back and then rush back up to tall? And then, nice, Lauren, yeah, Let's do that. Just follow Lauren. Chop the hips. Stand tall. Chop. Stand tall. Let's do 4 more. That punch Lauren's always talking about. Oh, she's doing it to herself. I don't even need to do it if she's going to do it herself. Last one. Right on. We've worked on our hinges. We've worked on our single leg hinge. We've worked on our deadlift hinges. The swing versions, the kettlebell swings, the chop and pop, the shadow swing you did before, are those drills that will help take us and challenge our practice. Do you have a kettlebell at home? Let us know in the comments section. It'd be nice to know if we're working with body weight or kettlebells. Let's return one more time to the floor. So set up your hinge, hip hinge, arms back, arms forward. Walk out to your plank. Final time in our push-up here today. Again, Team Ian, 10 seconds. Team Lauren, 100 reps. Go. Squeeze your bum. Brace. Always tuck the chin. You know, I'm modifying with my knees, but that allows me to really think about something else. Make it as hard as you can. It's going to be an odd number. You choose. I'm going to go my right, actually. I'm going to go my right arm, pointing to the ceiling, extending through my right hip, pulling on the elbow to sitting tall. Check the arm. Is it up to the ceiling? Bridge, transfer weight to that hand, sweep, press through, tall, face the pillar, pull down, and come back to say hello and goodbye. Thank you very much for joining today's Restore and Recharge practice. We've had a bar practice already today and a couple more beginner exercise programs to follow this afternoon. I recommend you do one great thing every day for your body. That could be your handstands or your gardening or something more like this. But if you need to do it twice, do it twice. Just take it easy. I do it twice. So it must be all right for you. I'm Ian. This is Lauren. Together we're Bars and Bells. Thank you for training simply, training with strength, and training with us. We'll be back next week after an epic bike ride to the cottage. We will see you Friday.
It's only Wednesday.
Darn it. That's okay. Give us a couple more days to eat, to carb load,
To drink water.
to drink water. Sweating a lot today, so drinking some water. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for staying strong. See you next time. Goodbye.